So this is my evaluation question number 3, and you've all just watched my rough cut of my video. I was just wondering, asking you a few questions, wondering what your feedback would be. So first question is, what do you like about it, or what would you change to make it more for your age range?
I like how you've represented the topic quite like sensitively, like it's things like inferred rather than just like shown directly. It's very quite a deep topic, so quite hard. It's very good.
I think it's one of those topics where you have to like get it right. If you get something wrong, it can just be quite a funny thing to watch. And you don't want that. So you want it to be serious. And I think all the music and stuff you added in, I think that really helped to sort of get across that it's a negative thing.
I think in terms of like age range as well, like the party is very like relatable, so that's good for our age range. Yeah, like the actors you've chosen.
Yeah, I agree with Charlie. I like the music at the end. I think possibly now you might want to think about your incidental music at the beginning, particularly to characterise that male as an antagonist. So as he's maybe leaving the room, think about the sound that would help to maybe enforce that impression of him, I think.
I liked the blinking, the whole shape of the eye in the party. I thought that was good.
Second question is, can you recognise the genre of the film?
Well, from the themes kind of presented, it's obvious it's kind of like the social realist because it's very obvious what the theme is.
I think the locations and the costuming being kind of ordinary and everyday helped reinforce the fact that it's social realism as well, and possibly maybe veering into the thriller as well, with the fact that obviously you've got the antagonist kind of taken over and attacking your female victim.
I think it is pretty obvious, because obviously I did art and social realism as well, so when I was watching yours I noticed a lot of similarities with the whole like self-harming thing. I had that in mind as well, so I think you have made it really obvious what it is.
Were you uncomfortable during any specific parts of it, and if so, was it too uncomfortable to watch, or was it just about right?
I think just as she was like about to self-harm, I was quite uncomfortable, but then the fact that she like threw it away, you got us right to the edge, and then kind of...
And the bit in the car as well,
yeah,
with Dan. It's one of those things where it could be too much, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
I think you just like got it perfectly,
Yeah.
because it has to be to a certain extent, doesn't it, to sort of get across how serious it is.
it wasn't sexy.
But it wasn't too much, if you get me.
Yeah, I like the fact that it faded to black, rather implying what they were going to do rather than making it too explicit. I think with her self-harming, I think that has to be unnerving and uncomfortable viewing, because that's part of the social realism genre. It's anti-Hollywood and it shouldn't be kind of pleasant viewing. So I think that's, yeah, fine, just maybe a little bit, maybe less prolonged, I think, at the end.
Did you pick up any of the themes that were explored during it?
Depression, self-harm, isolation, because throughout your narrative she becomes progressively more isolated from others, she's on her own.
Obviously there's the bullying as well, wasn't there, when she was walking down the hallway and people were lobbing stuff at her, and then the bit in the toilets at the end.
And I think possibly some sound could be added maybe to the part where you're tracking her down the corridor as well, to reinforce that sense of isolation.
Okay. Is there anything you'd like to change about it?
Maybe the opening. I think I like the idea that it's at a party, because that's certainly a realistic, appropriate location for the genre. Possibly maybe adding in a monologue so we get a sense of your character's thoughts, and maybe some close-ups possibly as well to create that sense of enigma, possibly.
Yeah, I think a voiceover would probably work well, if you put a voiceover in there somewhere to get sort of like a outside perspective of how she was feeling at that point. I thought that would be really good, but obviously it's a rough cut, so you're going to have like little black bits between cuts and stuff, but apart from that I really liked it,
Yeah. I think maybe your fade to blacks could be maybe longer to kind of create that sense of unease and tension between different scenes as well.
And I do think the drinking bit at the end probably did drag on a bit too long.
Okay.
But apart from that, it was good.
Really like the music for that. Really effective.
Cool. Yeah, it's all done then.
Is it?
Yeah, that's all the questions.
Yes.
Brilliant.